If you look at life expectancy statistics almost anywhere in the world, you'll notice something consistent. Women tend to live longer than men. It doesn't matter whether you're looking at Asia, Europe, the Americas, or Africa. Across cultures, economies, and lifestyles, the pattern holds. According to global data compiled by the World Bank, women outlive men in nearly every country. And the World Health Organization has repeatedly reported a persistent global life expectancy gap, often by 5 to 7 years. So why does this happen? Is it biology, behavior, society, or something deeper built into our species? Today we're uncovering the science behind this gap, what's happening inside our bodies, how our choices shape our lifespan, and why women on average tend to outlive men. Right here, on History of Simple Things. Let's start with biology. From the moment we're born, our bodies are not built the same way. One of the biggest differences lies in our chromosomes. Women typically have 2 X chromosomes, while men have 1 X and 1 Y. That extra X chromosome turns out to be important. If there's a harmful mutation on 1 X chromosome, women have a second copy that can compensate. Men don't have that backup. Researchers studying mammals have found that species where females have 2 X chromosomes often show longer female lifespans. This genetic redundancy may provide a protective buffer against certain diseases. Hormones also play a major role. Before menopause, women produce higher levels of estrogen. Estrogen has protective effects on the cardiovascular system. It helps maintain flexible blood vessels and healthier cholesterol levels. Men, on the other hand, have higher levels of testosterone, which is associated with greater risk-taking behavior and, in some cases, higher levels of bad LDL cholesterol. This helps explain why men tend to develop heart disease earlier. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death worldwide, and men often experience heart attacks roughly a decade earlier than women. Then there's the immune system. Women generally mount stronger immune responses. Their bodies are often more efficient at fighting off infections and clearing viruses. This may be one reason women showed slightly stronger immune reactions in many infectious disease studies. But there's a trade-off. A stronger immune system also increases the risk of autoimmune disorders, conditions where the body attacks itself. Women are more likely to develop diseases like lupus or rheumatoid arthritis. So while they may survive deadly infections more effectively, they often live longer with chronic conditions. This leads to something researchers sometimes call the health survival paradox. Women live longer, but they may spend more years managing long-term illnesses. Biology explains part of the gap, but behavior explains a lot more. Across many countries, men are more likely to engage in risky activities. They are more likely to drive at higher speeds, work in physically dangerous occupations, and participate in extreme behaviors. Accidental injuries, violence, and workplace hazards disproportionately affect men. In the United States, data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention consistently shows that men account for the majority of deaths from accidents, homicides, and occupational injuries. Risk-taking doesn't just show up in physical danger. Historically, men have smoked at significantly higher rates than women. They also tend to consume more alcohol on average. Both smoking and heavy drinking dramatically increase the risk of heart disease, liver disease, stroke, and various cancers. Even when smoking rates decline, the long-term effects linger for decades. Another important factor is healthcare behavior. Women are generally more likely to seek preventive care. They schedule routine checkups, undergo screenings, and address symptoms earlier. Men, on average, are less likely to visit doctors unless something feels seriously wrong. That delay can be costly. Conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or early-stage cancer are far easier to treat when caught early. When ignored, they become life-threatening. In other words, part of the longevity gap isn't about the body itself, it's about how people treat their bodies. Now let's zoom out even further. Social connections matter more than we often realize. Large-scale studies have shown that strong social relationships significantly reduce mortality risk. People with supportive friendships and family ties tend to live longer. They experience lower stress levels and recover more effectively from illness. Women often maintain broader social networks throughout life. They are generally more likely to share emotions, seek support, and maintain close relationships outside of marriage. Men, particularly in older age, sometimes have smaller emotional support systems. Cultural expectations around masculinity can discourage emotional vulnerability, which may lead to higher stress and less psychological resilience. Stress itself has biological consequences. Chronic stress elevates cortisol levels, increases blood pressure, weakens immunity, and raises cardiovascular risk. So social patterns quietly shape lifespan in ways we don't always see. Interestingly, this longevity gap isn't fixed. In societies where gender roles become more similar, where men and women smoke at similar rates, drink similar amounts, and work in comparable environments, the life expectancy gap narrows. That tells us something important. The difference between male and female lifespan is not purely biological destiny. It's influenced by environment, culture, and behavior. If men reduce risky behaviors, prioritize preventive health care, manage stress, and build strong social ties, the gap shrinks. And in some subgroups, it already has. So why do women live longer than men? Because of genetics that offer biological backup. Because of hormones that protect the heart, at least for part of life. Because of immune systems that respond aggressively to threats. Because of fewer high-risk behaviors on average. Because of stronger healthcare engagement. And because social connection quietly protects long-term health. It's not one single reason. It's a combination of biology and behavior woven together over a lifetime. But here's the most important takeaway. Longevity isn't predetermined. While statistics show trends, individual outcomes depend heavily on lifestyle, medical care, stress management, and social support. Understanding the reasons behind the gap isn't about comparison. It's about awareness, because when we understand the factors that shorten life, we gain the power to change them, and that's something that benefits everyone. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.